Since 2019, the Roatan Marine Park, together with the Bay Islands National Marine Park co-managers, have been working together in the monitoring and detection of stony coral tissue loss. Unfortunately, in September 2020, thanks to a citizen report, we detected stony coral tissue loss disease in Roatan. Since then, we've taken several measures to mitigate and prevent the spread of stony coral tissue loss disease.
During the last months, we have been doing intervention and monitoring of the corals in Roatan to identify the presence in certain sites of stony coral tissue loss disease. And our team has been working with the dive shops, with volunteers to identify corals or colonies that have stony coral tissue loss disease, and furthermore, do intervention and apply antibiotics to these corals or colonies.
Stony coral tissue loss disease was first cited here in September. Since then, it's incorporated miles and miles of the island. 25 species are affected, and pretty much anything that is affected, if it is not untreated, dies. So that's pillar coral, star corals, maize, brains, all the corals that people like to see, the reef building ones, they're all dying.
Well, the worst case scenario that if we don't do anything is that we will lose 90% of our current coral coverage. And the fact that the reef, all of the Roatan, most of the economy relies in a direct or indirect way in the reef.
There are several solutions that we're trying to do to work against the spread of stony coral tissue loss disease. The first is working with the dive shops to try and prevent it going to uninfected areas. So that means they're washing their gear correctly and not taking the disease further around the island. Another one we're doing is actually applying antibiotics to the diseased coral to try and prevent the spread more on those certain colonies.
Yeah, this is a very complex disease. As I mentioned, it moves really fast and it requires an integral or holistic approach from different sides, from getting genetics banks, obtaining genetic banks from the corals that we have, and make sure that we maintain them through intervention, which is what we're doing right now, the immediate action that was recommended or is recommended to take once we find the presence of stony coral tissue loss. The results of the solution that we expect from this process of antibiotics right now is kind of immediate. As you know, it's a persistent disease. And we expect to have at least 75% of success.
So the reef isn't in dire peril. We are going to lose a lot of pieces of coral, but it does not mean the end of the coral reef for us here on Roatan. There will be something left over in the end. We're hoping that the big species that we do apply the antibiotics, they can then reproduce and repopulate that. What we need to do though is reduce pressure. When there's lots of runoff, sedimentation, increased water temperature, these are all things that affect the reef directly. If we can try and alleviate some of those, the reef will bounce back. This is a problem that we're going to be dealing with for the next few years. It isn't just going to finish, and it will carry on going for a long time. So what we need participation from the divers, telling us when it's spreading into new areas, but also them getting involved in the application of the antibiotics. Also, this isn't going to be free. It takes time, effort, and we have to do antibiotics. So people can financially help fund this and almost sponsor a coral head or coral area that we can then protect.
Through our interventions, we've placed several tags in colonies that have been treated around the island. If you see any of these tags, please report them to Sctld@roatanmarinepark.org or go to our website to submit them online.